Well, time to get up to speed with our guest of the day. Michel is Managing Director of Claranet. Founded in 1996 as an internet access company, Claranet has switched its business and now helps companies run their websites.
Well, it has around 2,500 customers, including the charity AMNESTY International, the clothing website Net-a-Porter and the broadcaster 5. Claranet has offices across Europe, employing around 520 people. Michel, do come join us.
And we mentioned what Claranet used to do because our hunch is that that's probably what people remember it for and actually may still think it does today. Why did the business change?
Yeah, as you said, it started in 1996 as a consumer ISP and has evolved since then. The decision was taken, we decided in 99 to actually move on to the business market and to focus on providing, high-quality technical services for businesses.
Because that's a more profitable business, or because the consumer side was getting sort of more and more crowded with people like FreeServe jumping into it?
Yeah, there was certainly I think at the time it was the right decision to recognize the amount of competition that would be in the consumer end of the market, and then to move into the business end.
Now, we mentioned some pretty big names of organisations there, and it makes me wonder why they need another company, when they're so established, to sort out their website or host their website. In pure simple terms, I'm the Luddite out of us too. Yeah. Explain what you do.
Basically, we help companies with running their networks and hosting. So as they're looking to better focus their own internal resources, they may decide to work with a company like Claranet to say, listen, can you run our website, and we'll focus on the development and the evolution of that.
And more companies are willing to pay for this, are they, now? Or they see it as not so much discretionary spend anymore?
No, I think it's critical. I mean, technology has become, websites and other things have become incredibly important to companies. So, you mentioned 5TV, for example. They're now streaming, as many of the broadcasters are, and making available content. So if that website's not working, it's a major part of their overall commercial enterprise. So it's important that that's running.
But this is the whole sort of thinking behind any form of outsourcing at all, is that you as a company, you do what you're best at and you get other firms in to do everything else because the chances are they'll do it better and cheaper. It's a lesson that, with what you were saying with Ben just a moment ago, that the public sector might have to look at.
Yeah, no, certainly. I think it is about allowing companies the freedom to focus on what they're good at. And being a broadcaster, for example, do they need to devote very valuable IT resources that understand the business well, understand things, to maintenance, to running things, keeping things steady state as opposed to looking at the evolution.
But is it something that should be on the government's agenda then, when it's talking about cuts and efficiencies?
No, certainly. And I think that, government is no different than any business. And it needs to look at different ways of procuring those services and using resources more effectively.
How often should a company, I mean, I know you work with, as well as bigger names, smaller companies as well, how often should they update their website?
Well, it depends on the market that they're serving. Certain things that, if there's any news driven from that, it obviously needs to be very frequent. If it is a retailer, they want to put out the newest things that they're selling. So in most cases, more frequent is better than less frequent, because every time you go back, if you as a consumer have gone back and you see the same thing over again, you're going to say, is it going to be fresh the next time I look?
Well, we've had so many sort of bosses of big companies and small companies say that when they've been sat on that sofa, the website is their shop front to the rest of the world.
Yeah, it really has. It's leveled the playing field for many companies. So you have very small companies. We have an example of a client of ours, Digital Theatre, which is digitizing West End production to be run. And a very small company, and their whole business is based on technology. So, if you looked at their website, you wouldn't know whether they're a big company or a small company. It really allows them to get out there.
OK. Michel, good to talk to you and good to get an insight into the business. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Time for some camping. Declan is off to the tech tent.